Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Software Engineer K here, and today we have a really exciting video. So we recently had the AMA with Alfred Kahn and David Yu, and Alfred Kahn really kind of went through his thoughts on the OMI token, kind of the need for the OMI token to have utility and how it should be used to onboard more users into VeVe and really grow that ecosystem. So I'm going to be breaking down that exact clip for you guys. And just with regards to the OUP, we do have confirmation that it is dropping this Saturday on the 5th of November. So I will be going through that. I will be doing also an AMA with Reese. I am going to be in LA next week. So we're either going to do it together in person, which would be really cool, or we will probably do our standard format where it's just myself and Reese on, a typical kind of call. But just on that point, I will also be sharing my short to mid-term price movement on OMI token, as well as kind of where I see the OMI token pushing not just VeVe but the overall digital collectible space as a whole. So first off, we're just going to be going through a breakdown of Alfred Kahn's recent AMA. So here's just one clip that I really want to share with you guys.
As far as token utility, that's another whole conundrum that certainly I know that David's working on, because obviously we think that it would be exciting to see the OMI token being used in other with other utility variations. But I also want to say one other thing that I think is really critical. That I know a lot of people in this space are in this space because they are crypto, aficionados. So they've come into this space because of the nature of what this is, being on the blockchain and all that. But I think you have to realize that there's another whole universe out there of people probably aren't digital, aren't crypto connoisseurs or crypto, investors, and that whole universe of people would also enjoy collecting for collecting's sake, and not necessarily, be be aware of or be interested in the idea that this thing becomes more valuable. Yes, I think they'll all be interested in it becoming more valuable over time, but does that, what about that utility? What about that token utility? I'm not sure how many people external to people who are really, digitally, crypto enthusiasts would know what that means, and that's probably not going to be a lot of them that will know. So the reality is, the way that you're going to get, I think, an amazingly bigger universe is by getting that other segment interested in collecting, digital, resources, interested in collecting NFTs, interested in doing all kinds of things. And I think that is really what we're talking about. When you want to increase the market size, and the market, we know predominantly is based on crypto enthusiasts. So we have to look at, and I'm sure David is, and we talk about it a lot. How do we break out into a broader compendium of collectors whose goal may not be to be crypto OMI token holders, but his goal is to collect and enjoy the idea of collecting these incredible digital assets.
Okay, so there you have it. Now that was a really good breakdown from Alfred Kahn. A lot of stuff there, a lot of really good stuff to digest. So his approach is actually, in a way, exactly how I got into VeVe, and I was looking at it from the opposite way. So Alfred Kahn is talking about how do we get these OMI token holders to become collectors on VeVe, and I was kind of approaching it from how do we get the VeVe collectors to adopt the OMI token. And it is something that works bi-directionally. It can work both ways. So really good stuff, because the OMI token utility, it has yet to have any use. So once it has some use, there is a reason for people who currently invest and hold the OMI token, who may not necessarily be buying anything on VeVe, collecting on VeVe. There is now a reason for them to do that, and that's what Alfred Kahn is encouraging. That's what he has been talking to David about, just like he said, is, you know, the biggest market is actually not, in terms of this NFT space, is not the traditional collectors yet. It is actually, as he describes it, the crypto enthusiasts, the crypto, you know, aficionados, that group of people. How do we make those people become collectors in the digital collectible space? Now, I myself came from the OMI token space, so I was an example of exactly the type of person that Alfred Kahn is talking about. And I did a poll about this, you know, quite a while ago, and about 40% of the people on VeVe collecting, they came into VeVe through the OMI token. They were crypto investors, crypto traders who discovered OMI, and then through the OMI token actually ended up becoming collectors on VeVe. Now, I've always kind of been a physical collector myself, but I know plenty of people who were not physical collectors, and they started becoming physical collectors through VeVe, and they got into VeVe through the OMI token. Now, I was always kind of looking at it from a perspective of, how do we get the remaining 60% of people going to VeVe, not through OMI, but just through traditional collecting? How do we get those people to adopt the OMI token? Because many of them don't have any OMI token, because there was no reason for them to buy any. If they came in because they're, you know, a big comic book collector fan, trading card collector, sports cards collectors, those people got into VeVe in that way. They had no reason to really buy OMI because it did not do anything, and it still does not really do anything. However, I believe the OUP is going to definitely change that. The article should be out this Saturday, so we'll be breaking that down for you guys. But, you know, as Alfred Kahn said, how do we make these crypto traders, crypto investors, how do we get them to become NFT digital collectible collectors? And that is where I think the OMI token is going to do really, really well, because as VeVe grows, as it has more use case for the OMI token, as there's utility, these people who are currently holding the token, they will be more incentivized to use it, and through using it, they will start collecting, and that's exactly where I see us going. Now, the problem with the OMI token, outside of having no utility, is the lack of liquidity and the lack of marketing, and all of those things will coincide with the utility program. As David Yu himself said, they know that we want, you know, the large exchanges. He knows which exchanges we want. That is going to be sorted, as well as the marketing, only once utility is integrated, because then there will be a reason to buy and hold a token, not just speculatively buy it and then sell it off of, you know, a exchange listing pump. So once that happens, you know, OMI is going to have more volume. When there's more volume, that is due to more people discovering the token and trading it. As more people discover the token, those people who are now holding the token, a percentage of them will probably look into what VeVe is. That percentage of people look into VeVe, you know, many of them will download the app. Once they've downloaded the app, you know, it just makes sense for them to maybe buy a few things. That's kind of what I did. And once they start buying and getting involved and discovering the community, they will probably stick around. And then, you know, as many people have done, after a while of being in VeVe, they start to discover other licensed collectible projects, you know, like Bat Cows, like Hero, Rika, and they will start to spread out. And so if you kind of trace this process back of OMI token to VeVe to other licensed collectible projects, the OMI token is essentially the source of creating this growth and this expansion within this digital collectible space. And I believe that's exactly what's going to happen, because that's what happened last cycle. This isn't some kind of speculation that it might happen. This has already happened once, and I believe the next bull market cycle is going to happen at a much more exponential rate. So I'm really, really excited to see that. Now, overall, where does that put me? So if we have a look at what's been happening in terms of user growth. Now, I will give the caveat that this chart, which shows unique users, there is obviously the case of bots and flippers, people with these accounts that don't really hold. Now, that is obviously going to affect and inflate the numbers, but only across a short time frame. If we expand this across a longer time frame, typically what happens is a lot of the bots and flippers, they will sell their stuff within a few days, maybe maximum a week. And so this chart shows unique users. A unique user is counted as someone who has at least one collectible on their account. And if you sell your collectible and you have 0 again, then you drop off this chart. You are no longer shown. So that is why, following a drop, when this value increases, the number of unique users, it kind of drops after the drop because people are selling. Some of these are just pure flippers, some of them are bots, so they don't really hold collectibles on their account. And we see this happen after every big drop, especially. So here we can see on October the 26th to the 27th, there was a drop and a huge spike. We went up by about 1,000 users, and then we dropped back down to just 500 or so above. Not even 500 or so, about 300 or so above, and then we kind of increased and then dropped off again. Across the longer time frame, from September the 8th up until now, November the 4th, we've had about 4,000 solid unique users, and that makes sense because we recently had New York Comic Con. Marvel has been promoting VeVe a lot with the competitions, and there has been just general more coverage as well. Paul Barron recently spoke more about OMI being a metaverse token, and more kind of non-VeVe influencers have been talking about the OMI token and VeVe as well. So 4,000 people across nearly 2 months, that to me sounds very, very natural, especially in this market condition. Now, with recent data, we've been seeing that there were about 5,000 unique daily active users. So that's people who make at least one transaction on the market. If we have had across the last 2 months 4,000 more new users, let's say 10% of them are active daily, that's another 400 users. That should push up the market around about 10% or so. And I feel like that's recently what the VeVe market has actually done. So if we have a look at the chart for the Walt, so the partner statue, we can see that recently on October the 25th, we kind of bottomed out around about this 3.1k price range for the Walt. And as of recently, we came back and we touched again 3.9k on November the 3rd, so that was yesterday. And now we're sat around about this 3.7k region. Now, from 3.1 to around about 3.9, that is easily a 20% move right there. So that is quite a large movement. Obviously, we had to retrace back a bit, especially in this current market with such a large move. However, if the Walt can now break above this next point of resistance, which is around about 4.4, and hold there, then I personally am happy with the kind of trajectory of the market. I believe we will be on the road to recovery. However, like I said before, not everything is going to reclaim all-time highs. I believe only the key kind of important FAs, these key grail collectibles, they are the ones who will be most competitively priced as this market expands and grows. So if I was to be buying anything, I would personally be targeting these key FAs and key kind of grail pieces myself. However, if your goal isn't to gain maximum value, I would say buy the things that you like. To be honest, most of my current VeVe holdings, which is not that many collectibles, it's all stuff that I just really like, that I don't really care what the price of it goes. I've got the Donald Duck, the drivable DeLorean, the Ludo, the OG Ultraman, that kind of stuff. I'm happy just holding that because I don't really have a need to sell it, or any price point I'm looking to sell. I just enjoy those ones. So always kind of have a nice mix of things that you just enjoy holding, as well as things that you might want to have for a targeted buy and sell. That's up to you. But just on that point, OMI token has also been moving very, very nicely as of recently. So if we have a look at the charts, so I was accumulating in this range around about 0.12, and you guys have seen me buying OMI quite a lot recently. I bought another 1 million tokens on Randy's stream, the one where I trolled him as Alfred Kahn. And so OMI has had a very, very big push. Coincidentally, we've actually just hit this point of resistance at around about 0.163, which is very, very good, because if we zoom out a bit, the next point of resistance is around about exactly 0.2. And I believe with the OUP article coming out Saturday, we may touch that 0.2. Now, once we touch that, what I personally believe is OMI needs to pull back. The price, I believe, is going to pull back, because there's obviously a lot of people who buy the rumor, sell the news. They will sell when the article is out. However, another key indicator that I look out for, is if we have a look at the RSI, the relative strength index. Now, the RSI as of right now has never ever been this high. The last time it was this high, actually this is the second highest it's ever been, but the highest it was ever is around about March the 17th, and that was when OMI token broke 1 cent. So since then it has never been as high as it currently is right now as of today. So that to me implies that OMI may be approaching that overbought region. So, you know, with that push to 0.2, I don't see us kind of comfortably maintaining that price range, especially in this market. DXY is also kind of approaching a peak as well. I believe we will pull back once this article comes out. However, you know, if we can kind of stay above this 0.163 region, then I am kind of you know, looking forward to seeing consolidation and accumulation there. And then from there, I believe we can push up higher, and that's kind of what I'd like to see. You know, it's this period of accumulation, consolidation, and then a push, and then, you know, accumulation, consolidation, and then a push even higher. So really exciting stuff there. Now, like I said, I will be doing a full AMA with Reese. However, once the article is out, I'm going to kind of read it, digest it, you know, do my analysis, maybe come up with some updated burn models as well based on what we get. What I've been told is it is going to be a masterpiece, so I'm really looking excited to that. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to go through with you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe to support the content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.